We are honored that Taishin has selected Loomis Sayles as their advisor. This is a wonderful opportunity, and we greatly appreciate their trust in us and our investment expertise. There are attractive yield opportunities in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, and we look forward to identifying them for investors.
I think Asian credit markets are going to be the most dynamic markets in global fixed income. If you think about the next 25 years, global growth will be driven by China and India. In both countries, urbanization is going to be the dominant dynamic, as well as the rise in people's living standards. Companies have to grow to meet those needs, and growing companies are our most important counterparties in the global fixed income market.
Growth in China has been set by the leadership at a minimum of 7.5% for the next 5 years. In the past, this same level was at 8%. We expect growth in China to be at that level or perhaps even higher, especially in the second half of the year. What we will see is the components of growth will be different than in the past. It is both the objective of the leadership in China and at the same time our expectations that there will be a shift from investment-led growth, such as construction and infrastructure, to more consumer-oriented growth, domestic demand. This will be positive for retailers, consumer good companies in the region, and to a certain extent also on certain commodities, such as food commodities, as consumers feel wealthier and consume more.
In many ways, Australia is a two-speed economy today. I was just in Australia, and you can find pockets of strength and pockets of weakness. The natural resource sector of Australia is extremely dynamic. It's growing very strongly, and it has very important capital needs. So we're looking for market opportunities not just in the mining and natural gas segments, but also in logistics and other parts of the Australian economy that support the mining industries. On the other hand, the bricks and mortar retailers are suffering because of the strength of the Australian dollar, so there we'd be less interested in being a lender. New Zealand economy is likely to be an increasingly important agricultural supplier to a more sophisticated Asian food palette. As Asian incomes rise, the complexity and quality of food that they do consume increases, and we think that New Zealand is ideally positioned to take advantage of that. So New Zealand agribusiness is likely to be a major borrower. They're going to have a real challenge in trying to grow capacity to meet the demand that they will be facing.
We've had, over the last few years, a very positive outlook on Asian currencies, and it was a story of appreciating currencies as the Chinese yuan appreciated over time, and that would be followed or even led by other regional currencies as the expectations for appreciation were there. However, now with more of a focus on domestic consumption, it is likely that that appreciating trend will decrease a little bit, will be softer, and therefore, even though we're positive on Asian currencies, we do not expect substantial appreciation from here on. Also, the outlook for commodity currencies depends a lot on the outlook for the United States dollar. As the United States dollar depreciates, commodity prices increase, and therefore commodity currencies increase too. If we still have we don't have an extremely positive outlook for the United States dollar in terms of appreciating trend, Therefore, commodity prices should still stay quite supported, but not with an ever-increasing trend as we've had in the past. Therefore, commodity currencies should stay also supported, but will be more range-bound.
The real benefit of doing your own research and having high confidence about identification of fair value means you can be patient with a market that can have mood swings. Liquidity comes, liquidity goes. People get bullish, people get bearish. What that does mean is it gives us an opportunity in markets that are more nervous than usual to buy good quality bonds at an advantageous discount and then just hold them. And because if you buy bonds at a discount, time is your friend. You're being driven back up towards par, up towards, full maturity, 100 cents on the dollar. If you're patient and you can do that, you can actually outperform the average market over time.
High-yield credits require very thorough and deep research. Loomis Sayles research has been doing this for many, many years in different parts of the world. And it is very important in the case of young companies to not only understand the credit metrics, the growth potential, the story behind the company, but also knowing the shareholders, governance in the country, and the rules of the game. In this case, credit corporate research is married in Loomis' case with the sovereign research because it brings both of them together so that the analysis can be done both from the setting, the sector, and the macro perspective, but also from the company perspective, which is the micro level.